We do these weekly. We were doing these behind the scenes, but then we decided to make them live, so everyone else can join us and provide feedback and stuff like that. Transparency. I can't stay the whole 2 hours, but I'm gonna leave it running for you guys when I leave. So
at a 40-minute time cutoff.
Okay.
Too.
And since we have a new person, do we want to just talk to the new person and not get into our meeting minutes yet?
Yeah, a quick introduction would be good.
All right, Blaine, it's on you now.
Okay, I'm Blaine Hamrick from Hot Springs, Arkansas. I'm originally from Irving, Texas, which is between Dallas and Fort Worth. And moved up here. I'm out in the middle of the forest to enjoy the peace and quiet and living the good life.
Sounds nice.
Welcome, Blaine.
How did you and Brian meet?
Yeah, welcome. Let me see what subreddit was, Blaine.
Yeah.
We met on the private chat on Reddit.
Oh yeah, okay. But you must have came across me on one of the subs.
Yeah, KAOS Now.
Ah,
okay. All right. Well, I'm glad you found us. We're glad to have you join us.
Have you ever met anyone except for Reddit, Brian?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Reddit is my main social network. I don't venture much into anything else. So that's where I meet everybody.
and we're trying to change that.
Yeah, I'll have to expand my horizons.
Well, I'm in the process of trying to set up a KAOS Now opening in the Fediverse on Lemmy, which is open source, thousands of computers creating, making this one great society.
Yes, I'm on there.
Did you say Lemmy?
Lemmy, Lemmy.
And what is that?
It's the part of the Fediverse. It's similar. It runs on the same process as Blue Sky and all them.
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
All right, I don't know what that is or what the purpose of it is yet.
There was a mass exodus to it when Reddit started playing their games, trying to get their IPA up and going, or their IP going, for the Wall Street shit.
Okay.
I missed a few meetings, so I just thought I'd say hi. I'm Brian Lanning. Nice to meet you, Ernst and Blaine.
Yeah, it's great to have you back, Brian.
Okay, thanks. Good to be
back. Blaine, do you have any questions for us before we get into meeting topics?
No, not really. I was my mic bar is not working. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay.
Just we can't see your image though. That's the only thing. Yeah.
Yeah, your video's not on.
You don't want to see it. The only thing I know right now is that it was compared to me as being like the cooperation in the European community. And also someone mentioned libertarian philosophy somewhere along the line. So that got me interested.
Is it you watched the last live stream? Or that's 2 live streams ago?
No, I didn't. I saw it on the subreddit.
Oh, I don't think I saw that. But yeah, I we all care about freedom here. So yeah, I could see why libertarians might like what we're doing. Did I say that right? Libertarians, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, well, I guess if that's all, we'll move into getting shit done here. So let me put the meeting minutes on the screen and start going through shit here. We have so much stuff. I don't know what to talk about in the like what's highest priority. Maybe you guys could judge that as we're going.
Okay.
Well, if I could, Rami, I know this
Go
is
ahead.
a bit of a side thing, but I'd like to talk about the new subreddit we started briefly, quickly before we get too far, because you're not going to be here towards the end. I would have left it to the end, but you're going to leave. So
Yeah, I saw that
yeah,
email. That was interesting.
I don't know. Yeah,
It's called
so we
r
think that
slash.
this.
Go ahead.
Well, go ahead. It's r/change AI's view. And
Yeah.
Rami and I did a little experiment to see whether or not we could use artificial intelligence to work as a moderator and a judge in a discussion that we had. And so we experimented with it, and I think it went really well. And it seemed to work really well as a moderator and as a judge. And obviously, its judgment doesn't mean anything, but it's just an interesting exercise and allows people to really, in a comprehensive way, work through an argument and without any animosity, because they deal with the AI, not with the other person. So we think this could be a really interesting way for people to work out what could be very, very heated discussions. And so anyway, yeah, we think it's
that's a good idea. I had a question
Yeah.
about that real quick. Is it
Okay.
is it that the AI engages in the discussions directly, or do you kind of like filter your opinions through the AI and then they're kind of conveyed to the
No,
person you're
all we do is we introduce the AI to the idea that it's going to work as a moderator and a judge in this discussion, and then each of us give our part of our discussion, and we give it to the AI. So the way I did it was I set it up on my. So far, we can only do this with ChatGPT because it allows links to share your conversation. The other ones we couldn't seem to figure out a way to do it. But the chat system seems to work pretty well this way. And so I started a conversation on my app, and then I forwarded a link. Yeah.
Here's what he said to ChatGPT.
So I post that on, yeah. So I post what I said to the ChatGPT on Reddit, and then I posted what its response was, and then I leave a link, and that's at the end of the conversation. And then so Rami just have to click on that link, and then now he puts in his arguments with the chat bot, and then we work back and forth like this. But Rami and I were not talking to one another. We're talking to the chat bot.
Okay, gotcha.
And yeah, and then it kind of moderates us through it and kind of talks us through the whole process, and then gives its judgment at the end. And one of the things I found very interesting is that it did not seem too wishy-washy. I was worried that it would
can I say this part?
Constantly.
So Brian was wondering if his theory was what he thought was going to happen was each time a human speaks to the AI, that human would change the AI to his side, and it would flip back and forth. And in this case, it was atheism versus agnosticism. So he thought when Rami's speaking to the AI would say, okay, atheism. And then when Brian would speak again to the AI, he would switch him back. And he thought it would keep flipping back and forth. But what actually happened? Go ahead, Brian. What happened?
Well, I tried. At the end, I lost. And I think I have to mention, though, that I think that the AI is biased because it's probably considers itself to be atheist. So anyway, in fact, I asked
How do you program
it later,
a computer to believe in God?
Well, yeah. So I asked it at the end, and it did kind of say that, in theory, it is kind of an atheist. So anyway, I don't know if it was a fair fight there, but anyway, at the end, Rami had won, and I tried several times to get it to change its mind, and I thought I did pretty good arguments. and I could not get it to change its mind. It once it made
Yeah,
its
he
mind,
sided.
it stayed there.
The ChatGPT sided with me every single time it was asked to side with anything, which was 4 times.
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah.
It never once sided with any kind of theistic argument. That's interesting, huh?
No.
Not even like
No. Even agnostic. He wouldn't side with
Yeah.
agnostic. He
Uh-huh.
kept trying to say the positive values or the positive features of Brian's position, but then there was
Yeah.
one case where it said, well, Brian's position is good because, and he named a feature that my system also has, so it was dumb to even name that as a differentiating feature. And I complained that to ChatGPT, and it agreed with me.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah. So anyway, I just want to. I thought this was a really nice, good experiment. I think it went really well. So Rami, as we've come to realize, only ChatGPT is working with this system.
Well, that we've
right
tried.
now.
I tried DeepSeek. It doesn't give you a share
Yeah.
link. I don't know who else to try. I don't use any others.
Gemini.
Do you need to
I suspect-
have you need to have ChatGPT on your computer for this to work, or is it like built into Reddit already?
Let me cover that. I started it with my app. I started a conversation with my app, and then the links would bring you to like after I sent it to Rami and he'd send it back. I would get a link, and when I clicked it, it would bring me into my my search engine, and not to the app. And this is actually kind of critical, I found. So if I answered it in the search engine, yeah, in my browser. So if I answered it in the browser, like I had the option of it said go to the app, right? If I went to the app and I answered the question, I couldn't send the link a second time. So if I stayed in the browser, though, I could. So it actually seemed to work pretty well. I don't think Rami needed to have an app at all. I don't think
I didn't use an app at all. I don't have the app downloaded anywhere.
So I think only one person needs to have the app, get this conversation started, and then
you don't even need the app.
The
you
link.
can start the conversation in a browser.
Yeah, I'm sure you probably could. Yeah, I'm sure you probably could. So it's working really well that way. Nobody has to have any special apps or anything, and they can work with it. Like I said, don't let it go to the app, because in my instance, I couldn't copy the link a second time. Now,
So by the way, I just want to say that go ahead.
I just wanted to say that you might get different results if you're paying for your app. You know, maybe you get more options with sending links if you're paying for it. I'm got a free app, right?
Okay.
So, all right, you were saying Rami? Yeah, Rami started a few other discussions there. He's looking for anybody.
We want
I'll get on there
and do this, but before we do a big marketing push, we want a few of the discussions already done. We only have one so far. I started this one. The soul is a myth. Morality is objective. We have free will. Punishment is evil. Proof is a false concept. Evidence can only play. Anyway, a bunch of them. So if any of you guys disagree with any of these, please let's do it. and
it's certainly tempting.
What is
Debate is always tempting to me.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah. I mean,
but this is your opportunity.
Yeah. So before we do a big marketing push, and by marketing push, I mean, we're going to find all the relevant subreddits, ask them if we can post something inviting people to this, and blast that all over the Reddit and other places, whatever. But like I said, before we do that, I think we should have a few discussions already done here, more than just one.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Well, that's kind of why I wanted to bring this up, Rami. I don't know if we should wait. Maybe we should just go ahead and see what happens. You know, there's a
then at least do this. Then give me that full list of subreddits. I have 2 right now.
Well, I think we should just start with the one and see how that goes, and just ask them if we can do a test on our system, you know, and advertise for this on their sub.
All right, let me tell you the 2 subreddits I have.
Well, I think we should do the Chat GPT subreddit.
Oh, the 40 million people in there one.
No, there's 3 million, but that's still a lot.
So there's one called Debate and Atheist. Maybe that could work. I don't know why I put that in the list.
You're thinking about your pet project.
Maybe. ChatGPT, it says there's 10 million people. Yeah, that's a lot. Okay, whatever, we could do that. But
That'd be
what
a
I think
great
is better
place
is
to
we
do
do it
that.
in the smaller places to get a few people, and then do it in the bigger places later. Smaller places would be like the ex-Muslim subreddit, which I already did, by the way. No one came.
Yeah, well, that's just it. It's not that easy to get people that are going to want to try something so different.
We have 5 interested parties here, though.
We have to find a way to sell it to them in a way that they see that it's powerful for them. And that's very difficult. I believe I've mentioned that before, because it's not powerful until a bunch of people participate.
Yeah.
So very difficult.
Just to tell you about 2 pinned posts on this new subreddit. One is challenge requests, just to try to get people to interest other people to start any of these. And then there's a pinned post for feedback. We want people to be able to give feedback, and transparently, rather than like in the message the mods scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Is there a neutrality baked into ChatGPT? Like, for example, political opinions, that's kind of a dicey issue, of course. So does it have like some feature of the algorithm that makes it neutral? Like if you were to ask, like, is Trump a good guy? It just says, I don't know, because it doesn't want to get political or something like that.
Well, I think we're going to find that out with our arguments. I don't know. This is all going to be an experiment. And I do believe that there are going to be biases in all these bots. So, none of them are going to be unbiased entirely. They will have, different biases in different ways. So we are hoping that eventually other bots will be available, and then people can pick and choose their bots, and they'll give a little more, opportunity to have a different biases in the system. But at the moment, we only have the one we can work with. But I suspect, though, that like Rami, you sent that link to me about how I can't remember which one, but one of the AI companies was secretly using the Change My View subreddit to experiment with commenting to people anonymously,
without telling the humans that they're being experimented on with AIs.
Yeah. So obviously they want to see how these bots can change people's ideas and change the way they think or influence people. And I think they're going to be very, very interested in what we're doing. I can almost guarantee you that these AI developers are going to look at our subreddit, especially if it takes off, and they're going to be analyzing exactly how these discussions go. And as other, like I said, we can only work with ChatGPT. As the other bots see what's going on with us and ChatGPT, I'm pretty sure they're going to try to set up their system so that they can do the same thing. And so I can see eventually that all of them will give us the opportunity to moderate our discussions. So anyway, I see a pretty bright future in this area. I think that it'll catch a lot of attention. And I think we should just go ahead and do just on one sub for now, which is a big one, I know, but I think we should write a letter to the ChatGPT sub. Are you in agreement with that, Rami, then?
Yeah, sure. I just need we need to make a good 2 things. A good first message to the mods, and then our good, we got to develop a good first post, and that's going to take some effort. I don't want to just throw it together in a few minutes.
Okay. We will discuss that on the side, you and I.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, you just send me what your version is, and we'll keep improving the version. Yeah.
Okay.
Should we move on to the next topic?
Okay. Yeah, I think so.
We got so much. Should we? Okay. Regarding the essay, I think probably the 2 essays. I'd say we call them done, and then if we want to improve them later, we can improve them later. I don't see a reason to. Yeah. Similar to we're done with the logo now. Let's not keep working on it, right? Yeah. What do you guys think?
Good.
We may want to come back to it later. I did get some criticisms this week from some people that can write, and they're far better writers than I am. And their criticisms were pretty good in the sense that it's a bit of a boring read, and kind of a slog. It's kind of a slog to get through. And so anyway, they were suggesting more narrative in there and stuff like this. And I do agree. I don't know how to make it, get more narrative into it or what have you. But anyway, in the future, as we get people in our group that are better writers, and this one guy here, I think is going to.
Well, then maybe we should be asking for writers too. That we're designing a post to attract particular skill sets or professions or whatever. So I guess we should put writers on there.
Yes, we do need writers. So anyway, because they do have some good points that we should look at. But anyway, although I think that narrative will come into discussions that we want to have leading into this. Anyway, I don't want to get into it too much right now. But while we're on this subject, though, there was just one thing I think it was Ernst that brought up. If I got any criticism of this group, it was Ernst mentioning that where I talk about the artificial intelligence sorting through the information in a way that we can tell who the smart people are, and so it's like technocracy on a personal level. I mentioned, and Ernst had a little bit of a problem with the way I worded that. I looked at it again. And because I thought maybe your concern was it sounds very like the one person has so much control or something. But I do mention in there that also that everybody else has the same effect.
My concern was more along the lines of deciding who's smart enough to participate and who isn't smart enough to participate. I think that's a mistake. I believe
if you look at it from your own.
Everybody should be able to participate as much as they can participate, and the system should be set up to manage that type of raucous interaction.
Yeah, Ernst, I just wanted to maybe look at this. If you were to look at this from your own personal perspective, when you are looking at the data that we will be creating, and let's say we're talking about doctors, let's say it's a medical issue, COVID or what have you, you're probably going to put a little more emphasis on the opinions of doctors in that scenario, right?
Well, I wouldn't bet on it.
Well, maybe not. No, there's lots of people that went the other way, but
it's not. To me, it's not a way of do I believe doctors or do I believe people who don't believe doctors. It's an idea of being personally capable of discerning the validity of every little bit of information, and not needing somebody's credentials to tell me that this information is or could be good.
Okay,
not relying on that.
Yes, but you can understand how some people might want to use those credentials to give a little more.
I can understand how most people, and it's a big mistake, and we have to get away from it. And so I don't really support the idea of a system that we're building to take us into the future of bringing that kind of stuff on board right at the beginning.
Well, at least in our scenario, you don't have to divide everybody up that way. So at least you can, for you yourself, at least nobody's doing it for you is kind of my point, right?
Well, that's okay, because then that falls along the lines of you can choose what bots you can use, or you can look at it in an indexed manner and stuff like that, which then there's not really a problem.
Okay. Well, try to keep that in mind, because that's how I look at it, is that on your individual level, it's up to you whether or not you want to filter things in various ways, right?
As long as there's lots of options for how to approach the information that we're gathering.
Yeah. Okay, so if we don't have a big objection there, let's move on.
I just want to add one little thing about that, which is when you mentioned smart person in that part of that essay, it seemed like you're talking the way people talk about experts. And it's talking about the issues. They're talking about whether the person talking about the issues is an expert or not. And if they're not an expert, we should ignore them. All of that is nonsense. And it seems like talking about smart person is the same thing.
Yeah. But I do, from my own personal view, I will want to look at that information separately, but I may not change, give one more weight than the other. Depends on what the situation is. But I will be able to look at the various opinions of various professionals.
Well, just to play devil's advocate for a second, one of the interesting ideas that you brought up in one of our earlier discussions was you might have a feature of KAOS eventually where you have a question that's posted to KAOS or something, and then that question's routed to people that have specific expertise in that area, and they'll get like a text, and they'll have an opportunity to respond to that question. And I thought that was a good idea because it kind of like forces the experts to respond, rather than just any person on the internet that has an opinion. And I thought that was actually a good feature of the whole system because.
Oh, you just made me realize something.
What's that?
That the bots or AI bots that we users of KAOS use to summarize the data, the public opinion, we could have those bots track the stats on how the supposed experts address criticisms by the users. So if there's a supposed expert on, I don't know, virology, let's say, and a bunch of people ask them critical questions, and provide criticisms, and then this supposed expert doesn't reply to any of them, I think my AI bot should tell me that, and just so I know, oh, look, this supposed expert doesn't reply to shit, and this other one addresses everything. I would like to know that with the stats.
I think that's a really good idea, Rami.
Let me add that here somewhere.
That would be easier, more easily done with the indexing on our own site than it would be on somebody's personal bot.
Well, both could do it.
Yeah.
Whatever does it, I would expand the capacity, not just to does this guy answer, or does this guy not answer, but what are the qualities of the answers? Does he rely on personal attacks when his points aren't being accepted and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, that would be the second level. How do they reply when they do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a little mixed up here. So you guys are talking about as if we're having a messenger system within the KAOS system. Is that what you guys are talking about?
No,
well, originally to get this started, I'm seeing a forum type setup so that the bots can scrape it. I did some research this week. A lot of websites are starting to put blocks in on scraping from AI bots. So we're going to have to rely on creating a database and finding these other open databases in order to get the information out.
Let me address what Brian's saying. So the most basic way KAOS works is you just put an opinion. It's not connected to anything. But a second way is you put an opinion in reply to another opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Oh, I see. Okay. Yes, that's right. Yes,
and that reply could just be critical questions or criticisms.
That's right. Yeah.
And an expert, a supposed expert who puts their opinion out there and doesn't reply to any critical opinions, we should know that.
Yes, and it will be obvious in our system.
And it doesn't have to be experts. It's anyone who posts their shit.
Yeah.
Any person. I don't know why I said the word expert. It's just because we're talking about that now. But any person who puts an opinion and doesn't reply to the critical opinions, that's an issue that I would like to see.
Mm-hmm. Well, that all falls into the category of history. And we are going to be documenting everybody's history with a great deal of detail throughout our system, every interaction they have on our system. So it'll be obvious to our personal bots to be able to tell whether or not they are interacting with the various opinions that they are connected to. And so, yeah, that'll be vital information, and that should be readily available to all of our bots.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good.
And I want to emphasize, though, those little subtleties that you guys are pointing out, whether or not they get back to you, or whether or not they give a snarky response, and things like this. These subtleties are really going to help these AI systems to really analyze us quite deeply. And so we want to be careful about little hints that we are giving, to get that leave an impression. And we are going to be able to really analyze people's interactions over a long period of time and really get a pretty good understanding of them based on these little idiosyncrasies about how they interact. So we know that bots right now, this is what they're doing, when they're secretly communicating with people on the internet and stuff like this. They're trying to figure out these little nuances about the way we work. And it'll play heavily into the future, I think.
Mhm.
All right.
Okay, move on?
I don't know what we should go to next. There's just a bunch of little things we talked about before. Edward, are you working on the thumbnail?
I am.
for the
I am.
podcast?
My computer crashed the other day. I had to reinstall, but I am in the process of working on it. I'll probably have it out today.
Oh, cool. And then also, I don't know where I wrote this. A thumbnail for this live stream in particular.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now the thumbnail just looks like a K. It would look better if there was a real
Right.
poster or whatever you would call it.
Right.
What else you guys want to talk about? What's next?
Brian Landing, have you had a chance to check into doing the StreamYard stuff yet?
I'm sorry about that. I had some issue with my YouTube account. I was gonna try to, because to have a StreamYard, you have to connect your YouTube account, and
Yeah.
I don't know what I must have. I don't know. I'm still working on that. So yeah, I've been pretty busy the last 2 weeks, but I'm gonna have some time now coming up. So I'll work on that. Yeah.
Cool.
I was just curious about it because last I knew, like I said, that was 2 weeks ago, and 2 or 3 weeks ago, and you've been busy with life.
Yeah. I'm going to Europe next week. So if there's any marketing, I don't even know how I would approach that. But if there's any marketing I can do for KAOS over Europe, then I'll do that. But yeah, yeah. So I'll work on that.
Maybe one day
Sorry
we
about
will
that.
work on in-person events and speaking events, but right now we're just online.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I wasn't going to speak or anything. I meant like distribute pamphlets as I'm flying over Ukraine or something. But yeah.
Dumped on the plane.
Propaganda bomb. The only word I could think of. Sorry.
All right, Edward, are we still on schedule for May 1st or close to it for having the
Yes.
server up and going?
Yes.
Okay, and then I'm sure there's a million steps after that, like setting up the emails and the email campaign.
Yeah, once I have the server up and going, I'll have everything up and going within 24 to 48 hours.
Oh, wow. That's fast.
The biggest thing is the main thing I've been working on is the main skeleton of the website itself, the design aspect and that, trying to get some stuff into position so it looks good and professional. And then once we actually have the server, everything's just going to fall into place.
Just to update you guys on a couple of things. My uncle, Tom, who was here for one of these live streams, talking to us about the viability of KAOS from a computer engineering standpoint. I talked to him on the phone and I asked him about open source, whether we could go that route. And I asked him if he has experience. He was on one open source project during his 40 years experience doing all this. So he has a little bit of knowledge about that. And then I also asked him about, there was a second thing. I'm trying to remember the second thing. I don't remember it now. But the point is, he's going to do another meeting with us to discuss those things with us. Oh, I remember the
Proof of concept.
Proof of concept. That's dividing KAOS up into two projects. The first one is the proof of concept, where maybe we have, I don't know, 30% of the functionality.
Mm-hmm.
And then that would allow us to get funding. And the concept is maybe we can't get funding before having such a thing.
Yeah.
And then we need the computer engineer to tell us how big that project is.
Right.
And
Yeah.
but
Because I'm limited on what all I can do.
What is it?
I'm only one person. I've only got so much I can do.
Yeah, so he has to ask us what features we're willing to not have in the proof of concept, and then he'll be able to gauge how big that project is.
Okay, I'll try to come up with some kind of outline of
Yeah,
ideas.
we might have to do that together. I don't know. Brian C, maybe you could think of what features we don't need in the proof of concept to be able to show, like if we're dealing with somebody that has a lot of money, to be able to show him a functioning proof of concept website or whatever.
What do you? I don't. I'm missing what you know. I can think of the things that we need, but when you say the things that we don't need, what's the list I'm eliminating from? I don't quite understand.
So, like as an example, well, here's a really simple example: the huge scalability that we need when this is going, big worldwide. Yeah. Like for example, we don't need all the languages right now.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not having to deal with other languages, that decreases the programming a lot.
Yeah.
And proof of concept would only be English, for example, and that only makes sense if we think that works as a first run to show it to somebody.
Yeah.
Well, I think since we're basically a North American, I'm looking at Canada and U.S. of course, North American project here. English will probably be part of our best part because most of our sponsors are going to be local to the two countries.
Yes, but in any case, this is just for proof of concept, though. We're not the first variation of an actual system will have to be in all languages right off the beginning, right?
Proof of concept means we didn't go public.
Yeah.
Once we go full public, then we'll have all the different languages and the different pages and all that.
Can I say something about this stage here?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, if this thing flies, we're going to have a large team of IT people, right?
Yep.
Yes.
So why don't we try to build that team first? Because that's going to be the most important foundational aspect of us being available to people, and get going on that, and stumble a little bit before it becomes super important.
The problem we're going to run into the problem we're going to run into that when it comes to the developers and that, like dealing with this stuff, when we're talking a large IT presence, now we're starting to act. Now we have to sit there. At this point, we're asking everyone to volunteer their time.
Yes.
Like
That's
we ran into that
reason.
last week. Last week we ran into the situation that guy was trying to push for the marketing, but his sole intent was getting paid for it. People want to get paid for their professionalism.
So
there's no way around that.
So the idea that a lot of the people who will be helping us will only be able to do it part-time, again, it supports getting that team going now and getting those people to know each other and learning to work together now, like starting that now, because at some point it's going to be super important to the success of this venture. And
so I remember when I first talked to Brian about who we need, the first type of person he mentioned was computer engineers, wasn't it, Brian?
Yeah, well, eventually. I mean, I think I've been emphasizing marketing more than anything at this point.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think we should have a. Well, I said what I said. I think we should get going on a team of engineers now.
Yeah, so I put that on the top of the list of people we need, computer engineers.
Yeah.
Just because it's not going to be easy in the first place, and just to get those people kind of knowing each other and working together and familiar with us and us familiar with them and stuff like that.
Well, as we grow, I mean, we don't have enough people right now to draw from. But as we grow, but before we get to the stage you're talking about with the getting a preliminary system to show people, yeah. Anyway, at some point in there, we're going to have to do that. I think you're absolutely right, Ernest.
Oh yeah,
And
we'll have
as
to
we-
increase computer engineers within the next year.
I think the time is like no time like the present. Get started on
No,
that
you're
now.
right.
It's a massive
well-
part of what we need.
Well,
It is, but the
right,
problem is
right
how do
now,
we get a
the,
reach to them?
At least start looking for people. Don't bring them in, but start looking. And
well, I think
Yeah,
we're
that's
just
what
bringing
we're doing,
everybody in
and-
that we can, but we'll separate the people that have these abilities, and they may start their own specific meetings eventually. Just so that
And
they
we need
can,
to
like
put
you
one
said,
up,
they can
and
work
it'd be a
together.
good idea to put somebody in the core group as a overseer, so there's
Yeah.
someone that's from the get-go involved in it.
Yeah, I
There's-
mean,
I'm not saying
Yeah.
myself, I'm just saying somebody.
let me
it's
address
to manage the process. Yeah.
what Ernst is saying. So, yeah, we are marketing to these people, computer engineers,
Yeah.
to get them to join us. We want to make a post that would go on Reddit and also on our website that tells people what kind of people we need right now. So that's the point of this.
Mhm.
And once we have that post and we have the website, and I mean, I don't know what else we can do besides that.
Yeah. Well, we can say right now that I think Edward is the most qualified person in this area at the moment, right? As
appears
an
so.
engineer, and
Yeah, it
so
appears
you're head of that area right now. And as soon
Okay.
as we get more volunteers that come in, there we will direct them to you to start working on that area, right?
All right.
And
All right.
So anyway, we'll work on that. Ernst, that'll be a priority for us, and we'll try to get people in that know this stuff.
And to be
They'll
clear,
fo-
I'm still hoping for and wanting my Uncle Tom to
Yeah.
take that role.
Okay, yeah.
Hey, that's
Yeah.
fine.
And to be clear, I have not been trying to get him to these meetings because I still feel like
Yeah.
we have so much to talk about without him.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
But we're
we're
probably
still in a
ready
lot of
now with
planning
those two
stage.
issues of the open source concept and the proof. What is it?
Open source and proof of concept.
Proof of concept. Yeah.
You're having a hard time with that one this morning, aren't you, Rob?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not good with words.
Yeah. Okay. So what's next on the agenda? We got anything else?
Due to my computer crash, now I lost everything I worked on the first draft of the Constitution. I got to start all over again.
What are you talking about? You can't. There's no control. There's no saving anymore. Everything is automatically saving.
Yeah, until your computer crashes where you got to reinstall the operating system. You're an idiot and don't make backups.
No, but like I use Google Docs, so when I type in Google Docs, you put one character in there, it's saved.
Yeah, I wasn't using Google Docs. I was doing a rough draft.
You're doing
at
it like
first.
the 20-year-old way.
I'm old school. What can I say?
Yeah. You're working hard.
Well, whatever. The ideas you put in there, you're gonna remember them. It'll be easy to write it again.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I've got the printout that you gave me for the start off too. So I printed that one out.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. What else do we have? Oh, Brian, you mentioned you had trouble going through the podcast you did with Ernst to add the
Oh
time
yes, that's
So,
right. Yeah.
To be clear, that link I gave you, it does let you download. From what I
just have to
remember,
hit the right thing.
yeah, it gives you two options. You could play it directly from the link, or you can download it and then play it from some application you have that plays videos. Can you look at that right now and see if you can download it?
Yeah.
Otherwise,
I'm going to look.
Up.
Yeah.
Hey guys, thanks a lot. It's a lot of good progress. I got to take off, but my best wishes, and we'll be in touch.
Okay, man.
Okay, Brian.
Thanks.
Thank you, Brian.
Have a safe trip.
Yeah. Yep.
Good to meet you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Have a good trip. Have a good time. Let's see. Okay.
I'm gonna put this notes with
Okay, so I've got it here. And let's see if I see. Okay, I found an option here. It says add to iCloud. Would that help? Make available. Oh, make available offline. That's what I'm looking for, right?
and it doesn't just say the word download.
Well, on the icon I just clicked, which was the 3 dots in a row, it's giving me the option of add to iCloud Drive, or make available offline, or share the link, or send to chat, or save to photos. So if I hit make available off,
Save
Save
to
to
photos.
photos.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, that means download.
Okay. Okay, I gotta give it permission to get into the thing here. How do I do that?
I need to take off because of battery issues. I will see you guys next week at the same time.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
Blaine.
Okay.
thanks for
Have a
joining
good
us.
day.
Thank you, Blade. Have a good day. We'll see you next week.
You too. Good to meet you all.
So
Right.
it told me I had, Rami. It told me I had to go to settings to allow it to access my photos. Now in settings, I don't see an option for that. It went right there, and there's photos, there's microphone, camera. Well, let me see. I'll click on photos, see what it says. It says none, limited access. Okay, so I guess I hit full access, right? Oh, full access. Okay. Let's see if this works now.
I can honestly say I can't help on that part because I run Linux, not Windows.
Oh no.
I believe Brian's running Apple, isn't he?
Yeah, I got an Apple phone. I'm trying to do all this on the Apple phone.
Oh, you're doing that on your
Oh.
phone?
Yeah. Well, it would be even a bigger learning curve if I tried to do it on the laptop.
Might not be, because you just might see a download button.
That might be
Yeah.
true.
There's more room.
Okay. Let's see. It says K4P40 Brian and Ernest file link. Okay. How do I know if it's in? So if I go look at my photos, it should be there then.
Yeah.
If it downloaded.
If it downloaded, yeah. So let me check that. I'm not seeing it. Let's try this.
I say you try to do this on your computer.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get my wife to help me then. Or I could try it a little later, see what happens.
What kind of computer did you
Like-
get, Brian?
What is this? Toshiba or something? I think.
Okay, so you're running Windows 11,
Windows 10,
Windows 10. Okay.
Yeah. and that's about all I know about it. Yeah, I'm a cheap guy, so I went out and I just got a really cheap computer because this and running some CNC equipment eventually is all I
But
want
this
to
is
do.
what
with
you're
it.
using now is your computer.
Hey,
For this stream.
for this live streaming, yeah, I'm on the computer.
Yeah.
And I'm in the house today because I've tried to run wires all the way out to my shop, but it didn't seem to work. I'm not, so I got to try and redo that. So,
Hey, Edward, you probably have experience with this. How long is too long for an Ethernet cord before you start losing?
Before you start getting degradation,
Yeah.
yeah,
honestly, you're going to have to go about 3 to 4 miles before you really start getting degradation.
Okay, so it sounds like, Brian, you don't have that problem. You have maybe a faulty wire.
Yeah.
Well, how big is Brian's house?
Well, I ran it from my house all the way out to my workshop.
So it's not 3 miles.
No, it's
not-
probably 100-foot cord or something, which is not that
I
bad.
actually I got 250 foot, but that's almost.
But according to
plenty.
Edward, that's not that bad.
Yeah.
That's about the average of what they use in a house construction now.
I suspect, though, I bought it on Amazon, and a lot of times you buy stuff on Amazon and it's just crap. I suspect
It
it might
is.
be
The
it might
Ethernet
be
cable?
for the internet cable. Yeah, so it might be just a bad wiring or something. The wires could be bad on its own, or the connections on the end of the wire.
Mhm.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
so
you
Rami,
best bet- Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to mention that I can see it's downloading right now, and it's a long process. So anyway, it's processing it right now, trying to get it on my phone. I think it's probably going to take 10, 15 minutes or something, though, from the way it looks right now. So I'm at 13% at the moment.
So what I'm recommending is you on your computer, you have a document open,
Yeah.
or like an email open, and on your phone, you're playing the video, and
Yeah.
you pause things on the phone, type in your computer.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to do it old school and write it on a piece of paper, and then I'll text you all, or I'll send it on an email. I'll send you all the timestamps needed.
Yeah, you could do that. I was trying to make it skip a step.
Yeah, man, I'll do it my way.
Old school still has its
Old school.
payoffs.
So anyway, it's looking like that will work. Anyway, it'll eventually download here, and I should be able to go through it then. So I will get that done.
All right.
Okay.
Do you guys want to talk about, I don't know, funding?
I think we're still too early to deal with the funding at the moment. Until we actually have the website up and running.
Yeah.
Once
Oh,
we
I
get
should
it up
mention-
and running, well, yeah.
That other guy, Rami, that we sent the link to for the meetings. He goes by 7. As I gather that's
Like
70.
Like Seinfeld,
70.
George wanted to name his kid 7.
I don't know. Maybe
You didn't see it.
Anyway.
Okay.
That's actually 70. And so anyway, 70 has a lot of experience in LLCs, LLPs, or whatever, nonprofit organizations. He worked to set one up at one point, and so he, at least in his state anyway, he has all the legal stuff worked out. He was showing me it. He has lots of documentation on how to run cooperatives. He has a big PowerPoint presentation on how to run cooperatives.
I think that'll be very helpful.
Yeah. So when we start getting going, and he's recommending about a lot of literature and stuff like this in this area. And anyway, hopefully he'll be at the meeting next week, and he seems to be working on a much higher level as far as being able to talk about the whole philosophy of politics and stuff like this. He's definitely on a higher level than me. And so anyway, and he has a lot of experience in this area. So hopefully he'll be able to help us get a lot of this stuff. He knows a lot of the legal in and outs of it.
How'd you meet him?
How come what?
How'd you meet him?
Through Reddit again.
And you think it was through KAOS Now, the subreddit?
I'm trying to think now. I can't remember which sub. Can't remember which sub it was now.
Man, you're talking to a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, every day. Right now, we're really slow at work, so I have a lot of time at work to peruse Reddit, and I'm just constantly, just like you guys, I'm going through the different subs, and I'm looking for people that tend to be talking about cooperative systems and tend to be talking about how we need a new governing way to govern, and people that I think are open-minded to this type of stuff. So. And then I'll send them a message and see if they're interested.
Yeah. So by the way, it was Mr. Hall, right?
Yeah.
He emailed me back without CCing you, asking me about uniting the cults.
Oh, he's probably curious.
Yeah, he was, and he said he's been reading my blog, and he said he looked at my website. So I emailed him with something. I forgot to CC you because he forgot also.
Well, this is a conversation between you guys now, I guess.
I know, but I'd rather send it to you anyway, so you know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
With these people, I think that would be good. I'm gonna forward this to you.
Okay. Well, he seems to be a wealth of knowledge, so perhaps he could be helpful to you.
Do you guys, the rest of you, do you guys want to see this email?
Sure.
Sure.
Let him have it.
Go for it.
And who am I missing now? There's only 3 people here. Okay. All right, I'll just send it the way it is. Okay. Do you guys want to talk about the newsletter concept again?
Where were we with that? Who brought that up?
I'm the one who brought it up. And it doesn't make sense now, but I can see where we have so much shit going on in a week or a month that it would make sense to summarize it for people.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good thing. I mean, we're not looking for a way to control anything. We're just, sit there and say, hey, this is what's going on in chaos right now. We're not sitting there. We don't want to sit there and put out information that's going to tell them, hey, you've got to.
I don't think we're creating any new content for the newsletter. We're just summarizing the existing content that already happened.
Right.
Yeah, in these meetings you're talking about.
Everything. If we post it to a subreddit, just anything that happened under chaos.
Yeah. I suspect more as time goes on that, some of us will make these meetings every Sunday, but like the way Brian L. there was, he's here sometimes and sometimes he's not.
Well, I just realized something else. Somebody said something earlier, made me think that we might have different live streams dedicated to different things. So, for example, when we have a lot of computer engineers, maybe we assign a particular live stream to be just about computer engineering stuff. So the marketing people don't have to show up, for example. And another live stream is just marketing. So the computer engineers don't need to show up. That kind of thing.
Yeah, we may very well do that. Yeah.
That'd be a good way to, keep where we're not having to worry about confusing people.
Yeah. I would hate it if somebody came for something and it's like they weren't needed the whole meeting. I would.
Yeah, we do.
It'd be like pulling your uncle in on last week's meeting. We really didn't touch on anything that he would have been.
Yeah, that's exactly
productive to.
Yeah, that's right. And I think there's going to be a lot of people in this group that they would like to be here when they're talking about stuff that's important to them, but the rest of the time. Well, we have to be respectful of everybody's time, and we want them involved. But if they, not everybody can be there every Sunday or what have you. It's the meetings themselves take up a lot of time.
And another way to look at it is if people show up to a bunch of meetings and they weren't needed for half of them, they might just say, "I'm not coming to any of them anymore." So
that's right. Yeah. So we try to narrow it down so that people, when they feel they need to be here, they can be here, and if they don't not needed, they don't need to be here.
And I guess that means like the week before the live stream comes up, we need to decide what the meeting is going to be about and advertise it.
Yes, be better.
Yeah. So like right now, we'd be deciding what next week's topic is, and then when I post about it, in the next 24 hours, it's already decided what category that live stream will be about.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we ready to worry about this right now, or are we talk about this in the very near future?
I don't even think it's worth doing it yet because we just don't have a lot of stuff happening in a month. I don't know. Well, part of it is we got too many things going on. We can't do everything. So
right.
We got way too many irons in the fire.
I'm worried about throwing the burden on somebody to do it, and I know I don't want to do it. Somebody's got to write this newsletter. It's a bit of a burden, whoever's going to be writing that newsletter.
If we end up attracting a writer, that person could be dealing with it.
Yes. At least somebody that doesn't find it as much of a burden. Some people can rattle this stuff off.
Oh yeah, they love doing it. Yeah, some people would love doing those things. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. For me, it would be a big burden. I would spend a whole day trying to put together a damn, newsletter.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind doing it, and I wouldn't find it a burden. But I'm not a writer, and you need a writer to write little marketing messages that
Yeah, that's the key too. Is when it comes to that, you definitely want to have the marketing in there to help drum up support, and not only financially, but as also people using the service.
Well, the newsletter itself needs to provide value.
Yeah.
Enough for somebody to want to keep getting it.
Yeah.
Right.
We could possibly start the newsletter right away and fill it with the organization's needs, like we need programmers, we need this, we need that. And then in between all those things, we can put little blurbs about new things that are happening and put it out very regularly and send it to people's emails and stuff like that once a month or something. That might be a way we could get that started now without just, having an empty newsletter.
So
The thing is, I want them to opt into it. I don't want to be spamming the hell out of everybody.
You don't want to.
We don't want to be spamming everybody. We want everyone to opt into doing this. So
I'm not talking about spamming any newsletter that you have. It's like you can only really send it out to people who ask for it to be sent to them.
right, and right now we don't.
Doesn't sound
We
like
don't have
spam
the
to me.
base to do it.
No, we don't.
It sounds like you're volunteering, Ernst. Are you volunteering?
You do this? No. I might look at that essay you wrote, Brian, and see if I can simplify that a little bit.
Oh, that'll be good. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Have a look.
So
You can try doing that.
about the technical aspect of the newsletter, the server Edward is working on, I'm sure some of that software he's working on lets you do a newsletter, but so all that has to be functioning first.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, a newsletter is just part of an email campaigns thing, right? The email campaign software will do that.
right.
Yeah.
So
And it's just once a month. I don't think it'll be a lot of work, and yeah, maybe we should start right away as soon as the server's up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, I'm trying to.
Oh,
come
Edward,
up
are
with
you volunteering?
No, I'm not volunteering. I got enough irons in the fire right
yeah,
now.
you do have a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but no, when it comes to the servers and that, though, I mean, it's like once we have the server up, a lot of this is going to fall into place so much easier. The mailings and all this stuff. It's going to fall.
And by the way, part of it is I would like to have somebody that has experience running a newsletter rather than me who, I've seen newsletters. I could try to copy what I've seen, but that's not the same thing. I have zero experience in it.
Yeah.
Well, I have never written a newsletter, and worse than that, I've never really seen too many that I liked or that I wanted to read more than a few times, because newsletters tend to be very
repetitive.
Repetitive, and they're trying to present the culture of whatever organization they are presented by. So there's a lot in newsletters newsletters I've seen are very controlled, just because people want to make sure that the culture that they're trying to present, I guess, is always the same and isn't like sidetracked by 1,000 other voices in that newsletter. That's typical newsletters. They're not really news. They're just kind of called that. They should be called advertising usually, or presentation of the organization, like an item that this is the organization and this is what they're doing and stuff like that. But it's not really like to call it a newsletter is just part of the advertising.
All right. Well, you can, when we get one going, you can critique it for us there, Ernst.
Maybe.
Well, I like what you're saying that, there could be bias in the newsletter itself. So the way we make the newsletter, we should try to build in processes that help avoid bias. And one basic thing could be, well, we have more than one person responsible for making those decisions, and similar to we already have going on with all these other decisions.
So
but then that adds a lot of work on all these people to even get that done.
for the general public
Really have,
or for the people working on the project?
for the people working on the newsletter, yeah. Like if we say 5 people need to decide of all the issues, now we're talking about extra meetings just to develop the newsletter. And
I think we let somebody take it and run with it, and we can always critique after and give them.
And we can improve the process later as we get more people and we have more time.
Yeah.
That sounds reasonable.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Is there anything else we need to cover here?
I think we're in pretty
I
good
don't see
shape.
anything else. I looked through everything.
Well, there's something just there about the post of who we need in this organization. Post to it. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
I
that's
just
on
added
the,
for
that's
the
on
writers
KAOS now.
to help
We
with
could
essay.
definitely do that like sooner than later.
Okay.
Yeah. So Brian, can you work on making this?
Sure, I can work on that. Yeah, I can do that. I'll put a post out on our sub. You're just talking on our sub, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can
well,
reply here with what you think the post would look like, and then we can go back and forth editing it, and then when we're done, we post it separately.
All
That
right.
makes
So you want me to email a version around? Is that what you're saying?
You could email, or you could just reply right here.
That-
Okay.
we can take that and
I'm gonna.
we can take that and post it anywhere then.
Like on our website, yes.
Our websites or Facebook groups or whatever. Our,
Yes, design it where it's a standalone thing, not connected to anything else. Design it like that.
I'll see
It's
what I
an
can do.
essay or an advertisement all on its own.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yes.
Hey
In
guys,
a,
I gotta
but,
go. My battery's almost dead.
in a meme format.
See you, Edward.
Yep. I'll
Bye,
see y'all
Edward.
next week.
Bye bye, Edward.
Okay. So we'll. So, am I talking to people as if they already know the KAOS system, or am I talking to just anybody?
I think you should assume that they're new to it, but not go too deeply. Just say this is a system, like just a couple. I can help you with the wording of it if you outline it a little bit.
Yeah, well, I can understand that. I guess I'll just basically be asking for help and explaining it for the KAOS system, and then if they want to learn more about it, they'll have to.
The way I envisioned it was it's a post for people that already know KAOS.
Yeah.
Now we're telling them what kind of people we need.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's not a standalone the way I envisioned it, because on the sub, if they already came to the subreddit, they probably already know what KAOS is. If they came to our website and read the first page, they already know a little bit. So
Well, that's why I'm
an
asking. That's why I'm asking where we're going to put this. I mean, if it's in the KAOS sub and it's in our sub, if we have a Facebook or anything else, it's already under the KAOS name, then it's pretty obvious. But if I'm just going to post it, in various places outside of our circle,
Then think of it as 2 separate posts. One is for people who already know KAOS, and
Yeah, we can try
another
that.
for people who don't.
I think I was thinking more just a couple sentences to introduce to just introduce what we're doing, and then those 2 sentences are for the people who are just new to it, and you can give them a link where they can learn more about it if they're just new to, right? And then put that all on in one meme or something.
Well, those 2 sentences are going to be pretty vague. That's always been the big problem, is trying to how to explain this thing in a sentence or 2, and it's virtually impossible.
Well, give me a chance to rewrite that thing you wrote, and you'll see things can be put pretty succinctly. You just have to put a lot more effort into it than.
Yeah. Well, try to
You
put it
had-
into 2 lines, and I think you'll have a probably pretty tough time trying to do that.
Well, I don't know if you've tried reading my book. I often say a lot with not too many words.
Well, we can give it a shot anyway. See what you come up with.
Yeah, I'll give that a try.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Is that it then?
Yeah, I think we'll call it a short meeting today.
Cool. Very efficient and good today. Yes.
Yeah.
And I need to
think
leave
we
early
did.
anyway, so
How much more time you got, Rami?
I don't know. Why, you want to talk about something?
Just some one point I was thinking of, which is like just not really a point of order, but just what we're trying to do. Has it occurred to us that maybe what we're trying to do is the same thing that in a way the internet has been doing right from the beginning, and that we are therefore got to be careful that the same thing doesn't happen to what we're doing that has happened to much of the internet.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
Does that make sense?
yeah.
Yeah, it does. You know, a lot. I think we eliminate a lot of those problems by having such a narrow scope of what we're doing. You know, just a database of public opinion with so little area of manipulation. So I don't think we have as big a problem as a lot of other entities on the internet that way. But
But some of
it
the-
is worth thinking about, though.
Some of the sites that have had the most problems are the ones that are doing mostly what we're trying to do, get people's opinions. As soon as you get everybody's opinions, there's others' opinions, and there's powers that be that don't want these opinions shared, and they start weighing on whatever the organization and pressuring them here and there. And the net result has been what you've watched. If you watch the internet for 40 years, it's really it's not as open as people hoped it would be.
Yeah, and it's
There's
very,
so many excuses and so many like literally in China you can't go on Facebook in China unless you use a VPN, and if you use a VPN that's also a crime. And it's so we're up against a lot of the same things that the internet is up against. And maybe if we kept that in mind, we would have ideas about how to protect our system from that,
Well,
which I think is going to be very difficult.
this seems similar to another line of questioning that people have asked me about my organization. Like, so my organization is called Uniting the Cults. And they said, well, how do you avoid becoming a cult yourself?
Mhm.
Yeah,
And that's an important question. And that's similar to what you're asking.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I talked about it on this live stream a little bit. I think, Ernst, you might have been on that call. I don't know. Where I could try to find it again. I think it's on our subreddit. But the way I answered the guy about my organization was, we got to learn from the past, all the people that were working on this before. And, that means things like concepts like rule of law, democracy, science. And then I gave an example. What I think should happen in my organization is the same thing that happened with Einstein when he came up with general relativity. What happened there? Well, nobody tried to kill him. Nobody tried to get rid of his job. Nobody tried to do anything to shoot down his idea. And what happened instead was eventually everyone landed on what Einstein's idea. That's what should happen here. And another point is, like, Einstein wasn't trying to force everyone to his idea. He just waited. And he argued his position. That's it.
Yeah. I think we take kind of the same position, but I think we're going to have to constantly monitor for this and listen to anybody that has a good reason to think that there could be a problem. I'm sure if we start acting like a cult and start getting pretty, people will bring this stuff up. It's not going to be. I'm sure, Ernst, that you're not going to let that slide by. You're going to bring it up if you see us sliding into a bad area.
unless they get to me.
Yeah. So I think, we have to rely on one another a little bit to keep an eye out for this type of thing and bring it up. If you feel like we're
I would
being
say,
skewed.
yeah, we need to expect it, and we need to think
all the ways that people have fucked up this in the past and the lessons we learned and solutions we came up with in the past. We have to know all those things now. It's not like we're starting from scratch and trying to solve this. It's more like taking the entire human history of these problems and their solutions and improving on it now.
Yeah.
And that means that all the discussion of democracy and direct democracy, where you and Brian talk about, you're going back to George Washington and shit. Yeah, all that stuff matters and is relevant.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think all we can do though is keep an eye on it and hope that people speak up. We want to create an environment here where people feel comfortable to bring stuff up. There's no criticism. There's no shutting people out
and safe.
And safe. They feel
so
safe.
There is criticism. Criticism is good. That's I mean, that's I mentioned the first time Ernst was here that his pushback really helped us argue our points. His pushback was criticism. Criticism is good.
Well, it has to be constructive criticism. Some people just go right into, oh, that's dumb and that's stupid, and that's not a criticism. That's just an abusive event. Right?
It's an insult.
I think a good example is our last meeting and that MC guy.
MC Hammer.
Yeah.
Man, that guy was a character. You
and
should see the email he sent me.
Yeah, he was not arguing in good faith, and it was quite obvious. Yes.
Yeah, he was just bullying us all.
He's bullying us to give him money for marketing.
Yeah.
He also wasn't understanding the basic shit we were saying.
He
thought we were saying we don't want to do marketing.
Yeah.
You have no idea how many people like that I have communicated with since I printed my book.
Yeah.
They all want to market my book. They all want to market it. And I listen to their praise and that's so great. And you're such a wordsmith and all this stuff. And then finally I say, look you have to read the book. You have to read the whole book and you have to tell me what it says or you will not be able to market anything in this book. You will not be able, it's not a novel. It's not fluff to pass people's time. It's heavy philosophy. And if you don't get that and if you don't appreciate it, then stop bothering me. You know what? I've never had any
marketing professionals should know this, that you can't market a product if you don't understand the fucking product.
Well, but these people are trying, because
that's what that last guy was doing.
Yeah, they're just bad marketers.
He didn't understand anything that we were doing. I don't think he just understood what his own politics was, and he thought ours sounded kind of familiar, and then he wanted to wrap his politics around ours.
That's right. Yeah, that's the way I look at it.
Well, he was making a basic point that we could market to libertarians. I think we should do that, but that's not the only people we're marketing to. We're marketing to anyone that loves
his method though was by getting everybody all worked up. You could tell he was the type of person that wants to put stuff out there to get clicks, and so it's all clickbaity type of rhetoric, So
we
I
should
don't think
definitely.
Doing that is not putting out an honest message, and we have to think about putting out the image that we're honest in our messaging.
We should market to everybody because we want everybody on board.
That's right.
At some point, and even if they don't get on board when we market to them right away, at least they've heard the idea. At least the idea is being talked about, which is pretty special in this world, considering it's been possible for 4 decades.
Yeah.
It's very rare that the idea gets talked about, and any noise we make about the idea is better than not making noise about the idea.
Well, that's true. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. The old saying, even bad. What is it? Even
bad publicity is good publicity.
Yeah. We'll see if that works for us.
Well, it's better than no publicity. I'll tell you that right now.
I suppose. Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
And it doesn't feel great, But it's still better than nobody talking about your ideas.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, guys, we've had enough. I think I want to get going here. So,
Okay. Take care.
All right.
Nice talking to you guys.
all right,
All right, take it easy.
Been a good one, Rami. I will get that. We will. I'll write something up for that sub there, and we'll get that done too.
All right, sounds
All right.
good. Yeah,
All right. See you guys.
Bye.
bye, everyone.